Hello viewer and welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. You join me at the end of practice. I put in the respectable time of a 1:36.9, putting us in 13th. A couple of places ahead are our teammate Paul de Resta, so I'm going to cut to the chase and just put us straight into qualifying. 12th is the objective. Can we achieve it? Hopefully we can, because Bahrain's one of those circuits, because it's the second most in the calendar. I've played it so many times in the newer games, because I restarted my career mode almost every 6 races or so. I reset it because there's a new update that breaks the game and I've got to try and restart my career for some semblance of realism. Anyway, you join me on my qualifying lap. We've got Timo Glock ahead, who's giving us a bit of traffic. Go down into turn 1. Compromise a bit of our line, turn 2's okay. Unfortunately a heavy CS slow Ricardo, who very late of getting out of the way unfortunately, as we head down into turn 4. Not the best apex, but this is only Q1, so there's plenty of time to get things the best for when we head into later sessions. As you can see, we're on the prime tyre as opposed to the option, because the pace was enough in here in practice, I should say. I was confident enough to just put a lap on primes and then get through to later sessions, save the tyres for the sharper end of qualifying. Not quite a lock-up, but not the best entry into turn 10, or the left-hander from 9 through 10. It's a tricky one to get right at the best of times, but when you're in cars you're not used to, it's that little bit more tricky as we head down to turn 12. At the moment I'm not utilising a lot of DRS around the track, but in later sessions when we get towards crunch time we'll be a little bit more brave with the DRS. I think we do open it up on turn 6, which is a little bit dangerous because, as many will know, going around that corner, if you touch the curb you will spin, and when you, with DRS, if you put a little bit too much steering input you will be spinning around. As we cross the line in Q1 we get a P3. And that's some primes in Q1, which is, you know, everyone turns their engine down in Q1, so you can't read too much into it, but in comparison to our teammate who did their lap on softs, means we're only 7/10 away, so it is looking good as we head into qualifying 2. But to spare you having to watch the lap and cut to the chase, we came P9, a few tenths yet again behind our teammates. We can't quite close the gap even on the same tyre, but we are into Q3 for I believe the first time this season, I think. But it's not much to get excited about because we're joined by a teammate who quite possibly could out-qualify us. So we need to look out for that. P12 is the objective for qualifying, and we'll take you around for the final lap as we set ourselves up around the final corner onto the start-finish straight. Here we go, 20 seconds in the session remaining, and I didn't put a banker lap in. As you can just begin to see in the distance, cars are coming out of the pits, and they kind of ruin the lap, to be honest. Button gets in the way, and that is why we do not get a fantastic lap in qualifying. As we end Q3 in P9 behind our teammate in P8. 5 tenths behind. Quite disappointing to see ourselves in P9, considering we were looking quite good, but the team are happy. We achieved the P12 objective, although our teammate is ahead of us, so that's something we have to work on during the race. Oh well, you know, quite a promising prospect as we head on to race day. Looking a little bit cloudy, but no rain is forecast for the duration of the race. P7 is the objective set by the team. Hopefully we can meet or surpass that as we head to the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Having such a close battle with our teammate last race, it'll be interesting to see if that continues in this race. The pole position, Lewis Hamilton starts P1. Our teammate just ahead of us in P8 and ourselves in P9. As we head to 5 red lights at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Teammate occupies the grid slot to the right of us, Maldonado directly ahead. As the lights come on, The lights are out and away we go. We get a good initial launch, but I think I just gear up a little bit too early and that bogs us down, so we're not looking to get any positions just yet. As we come into turn 1, everyone brakes a lot sooner than I was expecting. Very lucky to avoid contact with Maldonado as Kimi Raikkonen goes wide. Oh, Vettel falls off the track and rejoins. Raikkonen slams into the rear of him. Maldonado looking for a route on the outside of Massa, who goes to cover him off, so he leaves the door open down the inside for us to come through. P4 at the end of turn 4, Button ahead, just compromising his line into turn 6. Tries to go around the outside, but there's no move there. So we head down to the hairpin of turn 8. Can we get anything on Button? Doesn't like it. We need to straighten it out, hopefully get a run from turn 10 down the smaller straight. Come and get a decent entry. Someone's looking for a move behind. We keep them away from taking the position, and we can just see the top 3 already beginning to build an advantage over us. So we've got a few corners to try and close that gap for the straight, because I think as soon as once they get onto that straight, we're not going to be able to see them ever again. So we run the corner for turn 12, and we're not gaining any time. Using a fair bit of curb on the exit of turn 12, come around turn 13. And as suspected, the top 3 are marching into the distance, which gives us a fantastic opportunity, a bit of a reprieve to watch the replay, see how lap 1 unfolded and how turn 1 saw the loss of Kimi Raikkonen's front wing as we head down into turn 1. Bit of a gap, our teammate gets spun by Kimi Raikkonen, with a bit of karma coming his way because Vettel comes onto the track and destroys his front wing. I think one of the Williams behind plows into Raikkonen as well. Quite a decent move on Massa, leaves the inside open, so we just take that from him. Tries to get the move back, but ends up hitting the rear of us. Was there a move on Button? I think a little bit too deep into the corner, allowing Button to just slow down and take the apex. The difference between the cars is so large, I'm not sure a move would have been on, even if he did take it. As soon as we got on the straight, I'm sure he would have taken it back, as Maldonado demonstrates on lap 2, even without DRS, going down the outside looking for a move, or inside I should say. The Ferrari's squabbling for position, and close the gap to the Williams and Octonus. We'll see lap 3. DRS will be enabled this lap, and we still do have Maldonado within 1 second behind, so we won't get DRS this lap, but he still will be a threat as he gets us even before the DRS line. And behind him he's got 2 Ferraris following, so this could be a bad position for us to be in. We could potentially see a loss of places here as we see the opening. We dive down the inside, get the 2 places back, and that's got to be, even though we're only 4 races into the season, quite possibly a contender for overtake of the season. As we watch a little replay now, they're going down the inside. Let's see all those cars looking to gain positions as well. Ferraris both go past. Just managed to go down the inside of both of them, retake the position and hit the apex quite nicely, even if I do say so myself. So we've managed to hold on for now, but you can see all those cars behind. The top 10 is pretty close, aside from the top 3 who've drifted into the distance. We are the bottleneck, keeping everyone behind. It's Maldonado DRS this time. We could have managed to put up a bit of a gap, but it's all lost on the DRS straight as he brings it back. But we do manage to keep the position as the next lap we come in for our pit stops. We're going to need a good one because there are plenty of cars around us who are eager to gain positions. The tyres go on, we've got the prime tyres, but it's a slow stop because we are held in the pits by a Toro Rosso. Unfortunately, that allows one of the Ferraris to get through, so to say I was a little bit annoyed that they were held up in the pits is fair to say. So I was very keen to get this position back as early as possible because I did not want to be slowed down, allowing the cars that went a lap longer to overcut us. So I thought this was one of the only opportunities I was going to get to overtake the Ferrari. So he covers off the inside and drifts us left, but leaves the door open, so we just send it around the outside. And we can't go down the inside to retake the move, so it's a pretty decent one there for a little replay on board. Just see that Massa leaving the door open. We take it. So this does put us in the position where we can regain those positions. We enter the pits P4 last lap. We're currently P7, so how many do we take? P6 there, there's one. P5, there's another. P4 is just ahead. Can we get him into turn 1? Can't quite, because he's on the apex, so Rosberg gets the overcut on us. Can we repeat the move we did on Massa to retake the positions we had before the pit stops and come down into turn 4? We go down the inside. Oh, can we keep the move? No, Rosberg does a beautiful cutback on us. Can we answer for it as we head down into turn 5? We go around the outside. Can we do to Rosberg what we couldn't do to Button? Yes, we can, just ever so slightly. We cover the inside so we can't dive like we did at turn 4. And we take the position. I think Rosberg had to defend from the Ferraris, which is why we didn't have, we had quite an easy time of it. So here's a little replay. A brilliantly executed cutback there from Rosberg. It just allows us to go side by side going into turn 5 and 6. We touched the curb a little bit going into 5, which slowed him down, giving us the opportunity to take the position. And yep, he has to defend from the Ferraris, which gives us a bit of an opportunity to get away. So we had a few laps later on coming into the final turn. Rosberg had been fighting for position with the Ferraris at this point, so didn't have much of an opportunity to challenge us as he gets DRS and starts falling down the inside. There's some Ferraris behind, or Maldonado I should say, this is the Williams. To head down the inside of Rosberg, he tries to get the position, but we're not going to give it up that easy just yet. P4 would be our best finish of the season, as we look for a little replay of that defence. So ourselves leading the pack, followed by Rosberg, and it was Maldonado, it was not Ferrari, it was Williams. Ferraris are behind, they're looking for position, so as Rosberg gets the place from us, we try and set up the move down into turn 1 to get it back. Again, hitting the apex perfectly. Turn 1 being a good spot for us for overtaking this race. Keep an eye out for it, as again, a lap later, Rosberg this time choosing to go around the outside rather than the inside. Comes over to the right to try and block us off, but not that heavy-handed in his defence, but tries to get the cut back on us. Managed to defend it, and keep P4 for now, but there are still cars behind looking to get a move done. Not as many as there were before. Pack are beginning to spread out ever so slightly. But P4 for now, can we hold on to it as we head for a few laps later once the squabbling for position gets underway. This is the final lap of the race. Can we keep P4? We get a fairly compromised line out of the final turn. Rosberg behind, he's going to get the DRS line. Can he get us before the finish? DRS open, or we just come through to get P4, our best finish of our career for now. Paul di Resta having to retire from the race. He had a very poor race, getting spun at turn 1, a tyre failure somewhere into the race because he had to come in deflated, eventually retiring the car. So Hamilton winning the race, followed by his teammate Jenson Button, Mark Webber in 3rd, and ourselves in 4th, taking home a very tidy 12 points, which brings us into P10 in the championship. And even more promising is the fact we're only 10 points behind P4 as well. So, no, I don't think we'll be able to get to P4 this season, but the opportunity's there. If other people have poor races, we're one of the people who are going to collect some points for the team, hopefully make a name for ourselves and get a good contract for the end of the season. So the team very pleased with our performance, and I am too, to be fair. P4 this early on in the season, it's a good omen for things to come. Which leaves the only thing left to be said is thank you very much for watching this video if you made it this far. I do genuinely appreciate people watching it all the way through. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions for improvement, do put them in the comments below. And if you do like the video, click the button, hit dislike if you didn't, because then that gives me an idea of what's working and what isn't. Hope to see you in the next one, but if not, no worries, enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.